Dave Pierre. I'll be showing you assignment 1. So if I just start the app right now, um, it should be there. But if I go here, let's start from requirement 1. So basically, the task presented to the user should be questions that have 5 possible answers labeled A, B, C, D, or E. The user should be able to choose an answer by clicking on something on the screen. Only one answer is intended to be correct. So if I go to the app, this is our app. Which of the following best describes between an object and a class in Java? That's our question text. This is the question number, and these are the available options that they have it. Corresponding A to the first one, and all the way up to E for the last one. As you can see, there's no default answer. You can see that that meets the requirement for this one. The app should not have a default answer selected. None should be selected until the user selects one. So if I just scroll through the app, you can see that there has been no default answers. So if I select A, as you can see, it gets highlighted, showing that I've selected A. I can change it to B, C, D, or A back again, and you can see it changes like that. So that meets requirement 1. Requirement 2 and 3. Your test should be described as an XML file and contain 10 questions. The XML file contains the question text and 5 answer options. You also need an identifier that the answer key can refer to. Your XML should contain an email that you can email the student answers to be emailed to when they submit their test. Finally, your XML file should pass the XML validation as offered by the validation sites. So right here, I'm just going to go scroll here. This is my midterm questions. I'm going to copy and paste this into an XML validator. As you can see, I pasted it right here. So I'm just going to kind of look through it first. I have my email tag defining what kind of email that I want to send to. I got my question ID. So question is basically describing a question, and this is the ID to identify the particular question. I got the question text right here, and then I got the 5 available options, and right here we have an option ID identifying the question text basically to that ID. So as I scroll down, you can see there's more different questions, and it goes all the way up to 10. And if I click on validate, if I scroll, there are no errors found. So that meets this requirement. So then your question's answer should be described as a separate XML file called answer key or something like that. Your question file should not contain the answers, nor should the answers should be installed or downloaded into the app. The app does not need to tell whether their answers are correct or not. Instead, when the student submits their results, will be evaluated by an offline process, not part of this assignment. Again, your XML should properly validate if tested. So this is my answer key. This identifies what this answer refers to, the question. So this is going to be question 1 with the ID, and this is question 1's answer. And I do that for all 10 questions. So if I go back to that site that we used, I'm going to go back to the main. I'm going to copy and paste the answers. I'm just going to click on validate, and then you'll see that there was no errors found, and then that met this requirement. Um, quick, this one. So then students taking the test should be able to scroll through the questions, which would be identified question number. Your XML does not have to have a question number. The app can assign question numbers when it's displaying them for the user. So basically here, I can scroll through here. This is the question number. This is question 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that met this one. When scrolling through the questions, they should be able to see what they answered. Have already answered already. Yeah, we can kind of see that when we did here. I basically, right here, B, C, D, and E, and then we have question 6 to answer. There's no default answers. We showed that already. So I'm going to show this before. So when the user rotates the device between landscape and portrait mode, the current questions they are on should not change, nor should it app crash. So if I rotate it, we're on question 6. And as you can see, we're still on question 6. You can still scroll like this. If I rotate it back, and we're on question 7 because I changed it to question 7. So right here, when the user has finished the test, they should be able to click and select submit option, which email their test answers to a designated email address found in the test XML file. The answer XML should identify questions using the identifier from the test question XML and indicate the answer the student selected. As part of the submit process, the student must supply their name and student number, which will be included in the question/answer XML. The answer should not be sent if the user has not supplied their name and student number. So right now, I'm just going to finish the test. And our last question is going to be question 10, just to make sure. I'm just going to cycle through. Ooh, I still haven't answered question 6. So last question, question 10. So if I click on the last one, our submit option is enabled. Click on this. If I try to email the answers early, I get a toast saying I must fill this out with my student number and my name. Uh, so if I click on email answers, I go to my next intent. And if we go right here, as you can see, this is the email that we were supposed to send to. If we look back to our midterm question, this is the same email that is found here. Our title is midterm answers. And as you can see, this is in the XML format with all their answers identified. We have our student name and then the student number and then the answers that the user has selected. So A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, and E. So that met this requirement. I showed you this. Your app should contain a text XML file as a resource that ships with the app. If you want, so then that requirement is basically here. If I look in the raw folder, this is basically going to ship with the app, where we have our question and answer XML, and then this you can see when we once we have logged in Right here, I have it right here. They're both separated, and that's basically it for this video. Thank you so much.